Hey guys, in this episode we're going to talk about 5 things I love about this machine and 5 things that I dislike about this machine. Well, I can't even say 5 because I don't even know if I have that many, and I'm not even sure I'd call them dislikes. But there's a few things that I can point out that are a little bit annoying, let's just call it. So stay with us guys, and remember everybody, keep it in the timber.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right, let's jump right into it, guys. The first thing I really love about this machine is the speed. I mean, that was the whole reason that I got rid of my old splitter and and upgraded to this one was I needed something that was a little bit faster. And so I went with the 22 ton, mainly because of the cycle time. It's got a 6-second cycle time, and it is really fast. I do love that part about it. I was a little worried that it might not have enough power, but this thing seems to have plenty of power. You get into a big log and yeah, it'll slow down a little bit, or if you get into a big knotty piece, it does slow down, but it works itself right through it. And so that is probably the number one thing that I love about this log splitter, is that it is incredibly fast and powerful. So let's talk about number 2. Number 2 is the big wheels and the ease that you can move this machine around. It's so well balanced. I mean, it's a very heavy machine. I think it's over 1,000 pounds or close to 1,000 pounds. I'm not exactly sure, but it's quite heavy. But these big wheels and the way that it's balanced, and it's got this great big long tongue on it, it's just so easy to move around. You'd think you'd need a machine to tow it around. You really don't. I can just walk it around by hand. And so I have a small little place here that I do my splitting, and I don't have any trouble moving around. That's relatively level ground here, but for how big it is and how heavy it is, I just love how easy it is to maneuver. My old one was just a huge burden. It was so heavy on that tongue weight. I just love the fact that this thing is so well designed in that regard. So very well balanced and easy to move. So let's talk about number 3. Number 3, I'm going to just talk about, it was actually the buying experience. So, buying from Wolfe Ridge was a very easy process. I got great communication from Chris Wolfe. And so I know it's not something about the machine itself, but I just really appreciated all the communication. He makes it easy, to pay for it. Just an easy guy to work with. And so, I'm going to say number 3 was the buying experience. So let's talk about number 4. Number 4, it has to be the log lift. The log lift in this thing is saving my back. I mean, I've got some pieces here that are pretty darn big. Now, I haven't gotten into the super heavy ones yet. A lot of them are frozen in place, and I'll get to those as soon as they thaw out. But, the pieces that I am putting on there are quite heavy, and, so obviously it lifts it up for you. But the second thing I love about it is it's just a nice workspace. And so you can load that thing up, and then come and split them all off. And I just do this by myself. If you had 2 or 3 people, this would be obviously a lot easier. But I love the fact that log lift is right there to put a lot of pieces on that you can run through the machine. All right, so let's talk about number 5. I also love the push through design. This isn't the only machine that does it that way. There's lots of them that push through, but my other one was different, where it brought the wedge into the wood, and there were to fall on the ground, and it was just super slow. This one here, I can run it right up to my trailer and just kind of push that wood right into it, or push it into a wheelbarrow or a sled, or just make a great big pile. So I love the push through design. So let's get into some of the things I don't even want to say I dislike about it, but I'm going to point them out just so you're aware. If you're looking to buy one of these machines, I'll point those out to you. There is a place where some debris tends to catch on the machine and it tends to build up, so you got to kind of clean it off. It is not a big deal. It takes a while for that stuff to build up there, and my old machine had that too. In fact, my old machine, the debris used to actually get on the motor and start smoldering. So I think that's just kind of the nature of log splitters, but a lot of things tend to build up on these hydraulic hoses right here. So maybe an improvement to the design could be they could have a little sheet metal shield or something to deflect the stuff off these. It's just a kind of a catch point. It's a little bit annoying. So let's talk about number 2. So number 2 has to be, I got to point this out, it has to be the cost, right? You kind of get what you pay for. But these machines are very expensive, well, relatively expensive. So, $6,000 versus, you can go into a big box store and get one for $1,000. I can honestly tell you're going to get what you pay for. This thing is a lot more machine and is a lot faster, so it's certainly going to pay for itself. But it stings a little bit to pay that $6,000. So, I got to kind of point that out, that's one of the things, if it was less money, it would be a little easier to buy it. So let's talk about number 3. Right now, the lead time on these machines is quite long. I had to wait 12 weeks, maybe 13 weeks to get it. It is what it is. So, you can avoid that if you're, a good planner. Just make sure you order with plenty of time before you need it. But the lead time is long, so that was a little bit of a, pain point for me. And the last thing I'll talk about is kind of a good and a bad. When you have a wedge design like this, where it's got 6-way wedge, 4-way wedge, you're going to experience what some people would call waste. So there are a lot of splinters and those kinds of things. So if you're a guy who's making bundle firewood, you might not love this machine, because you're gonna experience a lot of different sizes, a lot of small kindling like pieces. And I would say that's the upside to that waste, is that you can kind of collect all that kindling, and my customers love that stuff. So do you waste a ton of wood? I don't know, I never measure it, but you can see under the splitter here, the stuff accumulates. You got to clean it up, and so you do get a lot of that mulch or debris, and it can add up to be a pretty big pile over time. So that's kind of a love-hate, as I get some kindling for my customers, but then I also have to deal with a lot of this mulch, and actually that's what I use it for. I just go put it around my landscaping and so forth. But that I'm not even sure I got to 5 there. I don't think I did. So love the machine, actually, guys. I can't say enough about it. But I wanted to just point out a couple things that to be aware of if you're buying this type of splitter. All right, guys, we'll wrap this video up. Hopefully you learned a little bit about this machine, and I encourage you to get one if you can. They're awesome. So thanks for being with us, guys. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and be sure to share it with your friends. And remember, everybody, keep it in the timber. Bye-bye.